Hello everyone, today we'll be drafting the full bodice block. How has your day been? I'm so excited to have you on today's tutorial. So today we'll be drafting the full basic block. I have on this channel the half bodice, that is from the shoulder to your half length. But today we're going to be drafting the full length, that is from your shoulder to your upper hip. So on this table here, I have the border drawn out. So here I have the length of the blouse. The length of the blouse we are using today is length 24, and we usually use the front length to draft our bodies. Remember, the front and the back length are usually different. So here we have the front length, which is length 24. And on this line here, I have the width, that is the largest circumference of the measurement you are using. And for this one, the largest circumference we are using is the upper hip. So the upper hip here is 24. So 24 divided by 4 will give me 10.5. 10.5 plus 2 will give me 12.5. So on this side, I have 12.5. And on this side I have 12.5. So we'll just choose one part. So here we'll choose this place to be the back of our pattern, and here we'll choose to be the front of our pattern. So now I have marked out the difference between my front and my back measurement here. So here I have 1.5 ruled out. So this is my back. My back measurement here will now be 15, while the front measurement, the back measurement here to the half length will be 15, while the back will be 16.5. I'm sure we will get to that shortly. So the next thing we'll do now is to mark out the neck. We usually start from the neck. Let's start from the neck measurement. So here, this is the back. So we have 1, and for the neckline here is going to be 3. The width is 3, the depth is 1. For the back length of this draft, we are making use of 7.5. So this is 7.5, and on this shoulder line will come down by 1 inch, like that. So I'm going to rule the slope here. Remember, I said our shoulder is not straight, so there has to be a slope there. Then for the neckline here, I'm going to come in with my pattern ruler like this and give it a nice back curve like that. So that is for the back neck. So on this line here, we'll draw the same thing. Let's go to the front and do the same thing. So for the neck here, for the front neck, we'll have 3 by 3. If you want to get your own accurate neck measurement, 3 by 3 is standard. But if you want to get your own accurate measurement, especially if you're working for a plus size, please divide the bust measurement by 12. And whatever you get will be your own accurate neck measurement. So here, I'm going to take the back length, which is 7.5, and then from that 7.5 I will come down by 1.5. For the back is 1.5, for the front is 1.5, for the back is 1 inch. And then on this line here, now we are going to measure. We want to get our arm curve, our armhole. And the calculation for that is the bust measurement divided by 6 plus 1.5. So 38 divided by 6 plus 1.5 will give me 7.8. So I'm going to put the 7.8 from the back slope like that. And my 7.8 will get to this line. But because I want to measure it straight across, I'm going to use the same thing for the front. I'm going to start from this straight line up here so that I can get a straight line. So if I add this 1 inch to it, it's going to be 8. So I'm going to measure 8.8 all the way. It's just for me to get a straight line. That's why I'm measuring from the upper line here, 8.8. So I'm going to roll it across. Like that. So I'm going to use the same thing for the front line too. I'm going to mark the same 8.8 here on the front line. So here I have the chest line ruled out. So what I will do next is, on that same line, I'm going to input the back measurement. The back measurement is 7.5. So I'm going to input the back measurement and connect the back, that line, to the slope like that. And then the same thing, I'm going to do the same thing to the front. That chest line, I will mark 7.5 like that. And then I'll connect the 7.5 to the shoulder slope this way. So for us to get the curve, the armhole curve, I will divide the back measurement. By 2. I like to do this to divide to get half. And then the same measurement, I'm going to just take it like this and then use it for the back. So this is usually called the across back. So on the front side here, I will come in on the back draft, I will come in by 1/2 inch, connect the 1/2 inch to this shoulder slope like that. I hope you can see that. And then on the chest line, I will put the bust measurement divided by 4. So bust measurement divided by 4, I have 9.5. So I'll put 9.5 here, and then I'll use my curve ruler to connect it this way. So already I have the back armhole. So let's go to the front armhole. On the chest line, I'm going to put the shoulder measurement here. Okay, I've done that, the shoulder measurement. The across back here, I'm going to come in by, here I'm going to come in by 3/4 this way, 3/4 here. The back I came in by 1/2 inch, but the front I came in by 3/4. And then I'll connect the 3/4 here to the shoulder slope here. And then on the chest line, I will measure my bust, the bust measurement I'm using, bust measurement divided by 4, which is 9.5 here. And then I will use this curve ruler to curve to give the armhole a perfect curve like that. So now we have the curve for the front and we have for the back. So the next thing we want to do now, the next thing we are going to do is to take our horizontal measurement. So on the back side here, remember I told you that the only thing we need here is the waist measurement. And the waist measurement we're using for the back is 15 inches. So I'm going to mark it this way, 15 inches. And then I will roll the 15 inches across. Okay, so this is here is the waist measurement, and here is the length of the back, draft here. So on this side here, on the waistline here, we'll come in by the bust separation measurement, which is 8. But because we are drafting half of the back and half of the front, we'll divide the 8 by 2, and then we'll have 4. So from the center back here, I will come in by 4 here. So I want to get a straight line, so I'll go here, mark my 4, and then on the bottom part here too, on the hem side, I will mark 4. So on this center line here, this is where I want to put that's where we're going to put our dart intake. So I'm using 0.5 for my dart intake. From the chest line up here, I'll come down by 1 inch, like that. And then on the bottom part here, I will go up by 2 inches, like that. And then I will connect this way for the back dart. I'm constructing the back dart. And this draft is for a basic. Sorry, let me connect the center line. Okay, this is just for a basic block. If we are drafting other fitted styles, the draft intake, the amount of the dart intake will change. But for this that is basic, we will use 1/2 inch. And then on the center back here, we'll come in by 0.5. This 0.5 is to eliminate any form of back puff. And then we'll connect it to the bottom part of the draft like that. And then from here, we'll connect this one to the upper neckline, from the waist to the upper neckline like that. I hope you can see that. So this here will help to eliminate any form of back puff. So the next thing we will do is we'll go to the waist, and then the waist measurement we are using is waist 30. So waist 30 divided by 4 will give me 7.5. So I'm going to measure the 7.5 away from this 5-inch back allowance. So this is from here is 7.5. But because we have taken in 0.5, 0.5, which is 1, I'm going to add the 1 inch back. Always remember to add your dart allowance back. Then on the hem side here, we'll put the hip measurement. The hip measurement we are using is 42. 42 divided by 4 is 10.5. So here we have 10.5. But because it's a blouse, we want it to have a little bit of ease. So I'm going to add 1 inch at the hem side. And then I will connect it from the waist to the bust line, and from the bust line to the length of the blouse. I hope you can see that. Make sure you don't have any sharp or any pointy edge. So let me just do this in case of any pointy edge. So now that we have this, let's go to the front. We are like almost done with the back, but let's go to the front pattern and then draft. So for the front pattern, we will need the bust. We'll need the bust point measurement. The bust point measurement we're using is 10.5. So this is 10.5, and then we need the waist measurement. Waist measurement is 16.5, and then the total length of the blouse is 24, which I already have here. So I'm going to mark it on this side too, so that we can rule across. The first one is 10.5, and then the waist measurement is 16.5. So now I am going to rule it across. This way. And then the waist here. So this line here is the bust point. This line here is the chest line, the bust point, and here we have the waist here, and here is the length of the blouse. So from the center front, we will come in by the bust separation. We'll mark the bust separation, which is 4. Remember, we did that at the back too. 4 on the waist, and then the bottom here, 4 here. So I'm going to use a straight ruler to connect that line like this. It is very simple. If this is your first time or you're a beginner, just try and watch it over again. You will understand. Then on the waistline here, I will take in 1/2 inch on both sides. Remember, I told you this is just a basic draft. So from the bust point, I will come down by 1 inch here, and then from the hemline I will go up by 2 inches, and then I will connect the dart to the top like that, and then from the dart I'll connect it to the bottom this way, and then from here. So this is just to give our blouse a fitting. If we are drafting for other styles, there are other lines we'll add, but because this is the basic, this is all we are going to add for now. So on the waistline, I'm going to put the waist measurement, and the waist measurement here is 7.5. So here is 7.5, but remember we have 1 inch here for that intake, so I'm going to replace the 1 inch for the dart intake. On the waist hip line here, the hip line we are using is 10.5. 10.5. Remember I said we are going to add 1 inch. That will be 11.5, just to give the hip side a little bit of ease. So the next thing we'll do is we'll connect the waist to the bust line like that, and then from the waist we'll connect it to the hip line this way. So I'm just going to do this to eliminate any sharp edges here. So now that we have this, the method of this draft is called bust dart. So the bust dart is what is going to help us to balance the front and the back. The question you may want to ask is, if the front is longer than the back, if we sew the blouse, won't the back be shorter? No, it won't, because we are going to, the 1.5 inches we removed from this place, I'm going to replace it here. From the bust line here, I'm going to put it here, 1.5. If the difference between your front and back is 2, then the bust intake here will be 2. If it's 2.5, then it will be 2.5. We have some people's difference can be up to 3. So I'm marking the 1.5 and I will connect it to the bust point line like this. And this here is our bust point. This here is the bust dart here. So this bust dart is going to help us when we close it up. It's going to give the back and the front the balance we need. So because it's a blouse, you may want to leave it like this, or you may want it to have a curved edge. You may not want it to be sharp, so you can come up by 1 inch here and then use your ruler to connect from that 1 inch, just a slight curve to the center, that's this way. And then on the back side, you will come up by the same 1 inch, and then you will connect it all the way to the dart side here, so that the edge will not be sharp. You will have a kind of curvy edge. So basically that is all for the basic blouse length. So you can alternate, or you can alter this basic draft to make different kinds of blouses. So in all the other tutorials, I'm going to convert this to off shoulder and tube. I'm going to convert it to a tube blouse, off shoulder, so you can check for the other alteration you can make with your basic blouse. I hope you've enjoyed the class as much as I have, and my team and I will be excited if you can subscribe and even drop a comment on the chat box. Drop a comment on the comment box, and please like the channel. Thank you so much.